And so please describe to me what the aesthetic look is exactly.
More like this guy here.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and bring
Oh wow, you really have to come in here?
like this guy.
Is this
No,
is this really happening? He met the other guy behind you, bro. Like I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm right into that bad boy.
You can stay right there, behind the camera, behind the camera. No, see now you got me jealous now.
That's okay.
That's not
no,
fair.
but you're more in the category like Luther Rickner, Arbour, name.
My man. Yeah. Arnold Ferrigno. Huh?
Okay.
Aesthetic. That's great, partner. You two ever go outplace everything in its proper place?
That does not make sense, but we usually do go, we head to Kroger's and we work.
Oh, yeah. I've got a lady waiting for me back home also. She has the most beautiful scrotum. Oh, God. And when she sings, she sounds just like a puppy dog. How do you nail a photo?
Just gotta get in the mode. You gotta talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes. You
Okay,
gotta
so
have the eyes
can
first.
you show me a little bit of something, like to this camera? I would love to know how to do this. I just want to know.
Well,
How
I
do you do it?
mean,
Teach
the
me
smile,
something.
You can get the sexy eyes. Then you gotta get the smile going on some shoes. But
Wait, hold up.
You got.
I gotta
when
try
it's
this
time,
with
when,
you.
it, when it's
Hold
time
on.
to laugh,
I gotta try
you
this
gotta
with
think
you.
of something funny and start laughing.
Do it again. Do it again. How do you do it? Teach me.
Sexy eyes.
The sexy eye.
This is sexy eyes right here.
Smizing?
Smile.
So you're smizing.
Smile.
Okay.
And then you gotta get the.
No, I look like I need to take a poop or something.
Wish words were like little toy guns. No sting, no hurt, no one, just a bang, bang. Right?
Is that it?
Yeah, it's something like that. Just a bang,
Toy
bang,
guns.
rolling off your tongue.
Toy guns.
It's no smoke, no
Bang, bang.
bullets.
Water guns. All right.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Pascal Show. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful, thriving Thursday. It is Thursday, y'all. Tis a Thursday. Tis a Thursday, and it's a beautiful thing. One more day, and we got the weekend. You know what I'm saying? Then we got the weekend, not blinded by the light, but the actual weekend, which I'm actually very excited about, because hopefully this means a day of rest, or a weekend of rest. It's been a nonstop week for me. But, of course, we are going to be talking about a whole bunch of stuff today, but we are going to be doing a live stream, a live watch party of the CPAC convention or conference that's happening on Sunday. I'm not going to be watching the entire thing. We're basically going to be watching the moment if Trump steps on the stage, gets in front of the microphone, and says some fizzy things. So we're definitely going to be talking about and watching that on Sunday. So be on the lookout for that. If that does go down, just be sure to look down at your phone as soon as you see Trump on your TV or phone, or if you get an alert on your phone from me saying that I'm live, it's because he is on stage talking. And I just want all of us to witness whatever the hell might come out of that mouth. So I'm very excited about it. Definitely get all those likes all the way up if you're coming in, and if you're having a good morning, if the sun is out, the sun is shining, you know what I'm saying? It's another day above this ground. You know what I mean? Another day to get up and turn your whole life around. Definitely crush that like button on the positivity note today, because there's a lot to talk about. As you see down below on my titles, we got some stuff to talk about. Mitt Romney. We got some dear fat people's Nicole Arbour is back in the like social media zeitgeist, and then of course we definitely have got to talk about this thing in regards to Biden's children migrant facilities. Because we can't sit there and just let him fly under the radar just because he ain't Trump, okay? If he's doing something suspect, we got to talk about it too. No politician is safe on this channel. Is safe on this show. We talk about it all, okay? Okay? So, I know it's not quite the weekend. Well, we're getting closer to the weekend. We got one more day in order, tomorrow we march into the weekend. So, positivity, happiness, get those likes up. We got to jump into this. We got to chop it up. Let's get into it. But before we do that, of course, my brother David's in the house. What's a guan, bruh?
Yeah, man. Everything's good here. I'm glad the weekend's almost here, too. But it should be an interesting show. We have a lot of things to talk about here. Some stuff that I don't think we've mentioned before, too.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that we're going to be talking about for sure. There's just so many different things going on. And there's a lot of things that were left on the wayside because of just not having time. And there's so much to cover. So we're going to try to do as much catch up as we can over today. as much as I can. But one of the main things, of course, is, well, first off, before we jump into anything, this is going to be a little bit of a random side note or a little bit of a left turn. But real talk, I got to ask you something, David. What kind of keyboard do you use? I know it's
usually
random.
I use a Razer mechanical keyboard. I like mechanical keyboards. They're the kind that make the noise when you push the buttons.
Yeah. Can I see it? Can we see it? Is it Bluetooth? Is it Bluetooth or is it wired?
It's wired. It's not long enough.
Oh, for real?
I have it all hooked up there. Yeah.
Damn. Okay. No, because I got one of these, like, you know, with the computer I got, it's just one of those, you know, came with the computer, and I freaking hate it. It is just uncomfortable as all get out. It's uncomfortable, man. It's just uncomfortable.
I say just check out any mechanical keyboard because I just really like them because you can feel the key instead of just tapping at it because like it clicks each time, kind of like a typewriter. You can get silent ones. I get ones that make noise so that I know if I accidentally hit an extra key or something.
See, my old computer, I had this as a keyboard. See, nice, thin, clackety clack. It gets the job done. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, and I love it. I loved it. It's very laptop-ish. You know what I mean? Feels like you're typing on a laptop. You know, simple, gets the job done. No complaints on that. But anyway, I know that's a little bit of a lifetime. It's a little bit of a left turn. You know what I mean? But I had to ask because I'm in the middle of like trying to find the right keyboard for myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'll put it in YouTube chat so you can see it. It's a great keyboard for typing, if I can. Nope, I can't put it in chat. But I'll just send it to you over Skype if you want to show it off or anything.
Sure.
Because they have like buttons. You know, you can set up lighting buttons. They have macros and everything. So it's actually would be good for a show.
Right on. I'm gonna have to look into it. Sorry, Jack just popped on, or he's getting summoned. Whenever he gets on here,
Jack.
then we can actually get into the show. Anytime now. Okay, what up? What up, man?
Hello.
What up? What up,
man?
How you doing, my brother? Good to see you, man. All right, so Jack's in the house. How you doing, my brother? Nice area. You changed it up a tidy bit.
Yeah, you know, and I bought some paint and stuff to freshen this up, but the wall's been too cold with this temperatures, so it just was gonna like fall off the wall if I put it on it. So you know, it's baby steps. Paint
falling off a wall.
It won't
That's
stick to the cold wall. Like it won't adhere.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's a new one for me, but it looked good. It looks good. It beats the window.
That's right.
It beats the window. I'll take this corner any day. It looks good. I like the random. Is that your? Oh, that's your grandpa in the background. That's Jack Buck.
Yeah.
That is legendary sports announcer Jack Buck. That's his grandfather in the background. That's dope.
There you go. Can you see that?
That is dope. Yeah, you look like him so much. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Don't break things, man. Don't break things. But that is very, very cool, man. I'm glad to see a new layout, and I know that Dave is in the middle of like setting up his whole layout and everything too. So I'm very excited about the layouts that are coming up here soon. But anyway, we got to jump into this story, y'all, because there's a lot going on. Great to see you back, Jack. He's been off, gone doing his thing and all that. But we definitely got to talk about this one thing that has been circulating lately, and it has to do with Mitt Romney. This is something that's been, like, he just recently was talking about his thoughts on Trump running in 2024. CNN covered it. We got to check this out. Let's take a look.
What is the future for former Vice President Mike Pence and the GOP as a whole? On Tuesday, Pence reportedly told a group of conservative lawmakers that he maintains a close personal friendship with former President Donald Trump and harbors no ill will about January 6th.
By the way, no ill will. Pence completely, like, I don't know what happened. Maybe they came up to him. Maybe the men in black came up and hit that little red button with the flashy red thing and erased like what happened on the 6th. But apparently Pence and Trump are cool with each other. They all cool.
As Pence tries to figure out his future path. Meanwhile, Senator Mitt Romney also talking about Donald Trump and the future role Trump might play in the GOP.
Here we go.
He has by far the largest voice and a big impact in my party. I don't know if he'll run in 2024 or not, but if he does, I'm pretty sure he will win the nomination.
Joining us now to talk about this is CNN political commentator and former Republican Congressman Charlie Dent. Okay, let's just start there, Charlie. Mitt Romney, do you agree with Mitt Romney that if Donald Trump chooses to run again, he will win the nomination in 2024?
I do agree with Mitt Romney. Today, that would be the case. Now, over the next few years, maybe Donald Trump will diminish as a political figure, and that could change. But as of now, Mitt Romney is right. Donald Trump would win the nomination. Let's talk about Mike Pence and his future, because he reportedly wants to run for president. When a friend sends a bloodthirsty mob after me that wants to hang me, I rethink that friendship.
That is the understatement of the day, y'all. I'd be feeling some type of way. Keep it real. You know what I mean? Homegirl here is sitting there, I'd be reconsidering. No, I'd be feeling some type of way. You see what I'm saying? I'd be in my feelings. Not feelings, feelings. AKA, I'd be pissed the F off. And yet Pence and Trump are cool.
But Mike Pence sounds like he's different, and he has reportedly said that he harbors no ill will and that they still have a close personal friendship. What does this tell you about the future for Mike Pence and about how everybody is supposed to coexist with Donald Trump looming?
Hey, Allison, never underestimate an ambitious politician's tolerance for these types of indignities.
Now, the thing is of course, I let it bleed over a little bit longer. I mean, obviously, Mike Pence, Mitt Romney said what he had to say. He said what he said. And what he said is, if Trump runs, he would win by a landslide as far as the primaries go. He would win by a landslide. I am curious to hear what the fellas think on this, so I'm throwing it over to the guys. David, what are your thoughts?
I mean, unfortunately, I think he might be right. I'm not positive of that, but Trump still has a lot of support. It didn't really fade as much after the 6th as you would expect, and it seemed like he ended up gaining some back afterward based on the news coverage of the incident and just how his approval kind of went up with at least some Republicans during that. So he's actually gaining some favoritism again. So there is that possibility. And I mean, especially when you have people like Mike Pence, who was the one that was arguably the most threatened of all the people in Congress, since everyone knew where he was and he had direct death threats. But he never seems like he doesn't seem like he was ever worried about that. Or maybe he knew something we didn't. I don't know. Maybe he just felt safe with his guards, or he doesn't blame Trump. I'm not really sure here, but he just doesn't seem like he thinks that Trump is responsible for endangering his life. Pence isn't like the most outspoken individual or whatever, but he generally will say what he thinks. So it seems to me anyway. I'm not positive, but so I think he legitimately does support Trump in this, and I do think there's a good chance he could win again. I mean, if there wasn't all of the last minute actions to expand like mail-in voting and to get more people registered within the last few weeks and everything, he would have won last time. It was only because of that huge concentrated effort from multiple news agencies, multiple corporations, and a lot of Democrats that got people registered and got the mail-in voting to go through. So if that becomes commonplace and everyone gets used to mail-in voting, or they lose that fervor, it's definitely possible Trump could return. I mean, he still has a lot of support within the GOP, even though he's talking about splitting the GOP, which would kill it. And it seems like people do want him back to some degree. I'm not sure how many, but at least the people in charge and the people and that talk about this on like news agencies, they seem to want this to happen again. I can't tell you what regular people believe. They haven't really been polling people on Trump anymore. But shortly after the change on the 6th, they did a few more polls, and his approval went up, and Biden's approval has dropped by 30 points since then. He's around 49 now, where he was at 70 to 80 when he first got in over Trump. So it's quite possible. And there were a lot of people on the far left last time that voted for Trump because they saw the Democrats as never going to work for them, and that pretty much neither party is going to give them what they want. So screw the people that are lying to them about it the most. So that's definitely a possibility that will come back. I mean, we've seen I always point to Portland, which isn't necessarily like an indicator of the whole country, but it is an indicator of at least the West Coast on the more far left oriented. And they have been working very hard against, in terms of protest and damaging DNC buildings and stuff. They have been working against Biden since he got into office. So there is a base there. I think he can get support from and can come back. They would need to start doing some more work, some sort of PR work to lead into it, but I could definitely see that happening again, especially since typically, unfortunately, the left has had a very hard time of countering the things that Trump has said and done. They often do a poor job of it, and that ends up causing him to get more support in some cases. So I do see a very strong possibility of him coming back.
Jack.
So let's say that he makes it that far, right? I mean, we're assuming that he's not in prison. Is that what we're assuming, right?
That's what we're assuming.
The amount of criminal
Teflon Don
that are going to be going against him, right? Like, so, that you can't run for president if you have a felony, right? Like, that's not possible. Or if you're in prison itself. So let's just assume that that's not going to occur, and he somehow is able to push back the courts like he does with all of his other lawsuits and just pushes them back for years. I imagine he would eventually run out of money, but then again, he also raised so much money for his campaign defense that he just pocketed that, I think that he is okay in that world of cash flow. I could see him possibly winning the primary. I don't see him winning the actual election, though. I could see him getting enough support still, unless if there's a strong base of Republicans that are saying, no, this can't happen again. And, the people are quick to forget, and they really like, his personality. They like how he addresses, snowflakes. So, there is a very strong base. So, yeah, he would have a lot of support to be able to get that nomination. But ultimately, it's not the people that nominate him for that, that role. It's the Republican National Convention. Now, the RNC has some big support for him, too, though. And it really is about the people that he's placed in different positions throughout his time in office and whether or not they're around at that time to see in order to garner more support for him. Unless if there's another person that shows up and from now until then that becomes a new, a slicker, slyer, still pushing all the same things that Trump's saying, but gives it a better presentation. And then that person, I think, would take the nomination, and then we'll be right along our lines of going to a dictatorship. So
yeah,
but I think he's going to be in prison.
I think. Well, you never know. In that regard, I'm going to answer that here in a second. This is what I think on this whole situation. There needs to be a new Republican superstar. They need to have a new rising star. Trump is the only one that they're relying on, really. This guy that represents so many polarizing things, so many volatile things. There's not another Republican out there that's better, if not younger, if not more balanced, let's just say. Maybe maybe just as much of a jerk, but maybe a little bit more riding the fence instead of being good people on both sides. And also maybe somebody who can actually move people, but in an actual positive way, rather than move people towards the 6th, move people towards hate, move people to where MAGA throw flags that basically are the epitome of wearing white hoods. That's what I'd like to see happen, is have a Republican come out and speak on behalf of every person in this country, rather than it just being a pro-white, right-leaning conservative that's only doing things for what he needs to do for, I don't know, for that party and for that particular demographic. Trump is not the only way, but people tend to just lean on this guy like he's the be all and end all, that he's and I said this last night, that he's like the great white hope, that he's the one who's going to take the Republican Party to a stronger level, or take it to great heights. Actually, he's ruined it. He's ruined it so much to the point where the Republican Party now is starting to become split. There is a literal civil war going on inside of the Republican Party right now as we speak. Why are we leaning, not we, but why are Republicans leaning on someone that has done nothing but turmoil, lied, cheated, literally, did everything he could, brought nothing good at the end of it? Because right now, it's not only the first impressions, but it's the last thing you do too. You know what I'm saying? And it's also not, people remember. I remember somebody said something along the lines of this: it's not what you said to the person, it's how you made them feel. So there's a lot of people that are still leaving, that have been left with a really bad taste in their mouth when it comes to Trump, because of what happened on the 6th.
Yeah.
So so what I'm trying to say, let me just wrap this up. What I'm trying to say is that there needs to be a new face for the Republican Party. Trump cannot only be the only person. Pence, because he's involved in it too. Yes, he was the one running away and everything, but he's been sitting there for 4 years backing this dude up. In fact, he's still cool with the dude. After all that happened, he's still cool with the dude. So it can't be Pence either. There's got to be somebody else. We got 4 years. We got 4 years to figure it out, y'all. Well, not we, but the Republican Party has 4 years to figure it out. They like I said, they can't just lean on this dude and say this is the guy. I'm sorry. There's so many other great candidates out there. It's like the Republican Party is like a battered wife. I'm sorry. It's like a battered wife. And this abusive husband is coming back going ding dong, and he's got a dozen red roses in his hand saying, baby, I'm sorry, baby, I'm sorry. Forget what I did, baby, I'm sorry. And the Republican Party is going, come on back in, it's cool. He still loves me. Get out of here, guys. There's more out there. There are other fish in the sea that could easily take over this spot. Easily. David.
There's also, we have to consider that the demographics changed a lot with the last election, with Trump specifically, and that that was one of the instances where the Republicans got the most support from Black and Latinos, especially for a presidential election, pretty much ever. And I mean, you saw about 2 years ago, a lot of people, like the organizer of the Unite the Right rally, came out in support of Biden and stuff. So there's been a strange shift where, Trump gained 200 to 300% with the Black population and around the same with the Latino population, while Biden gained mostly with white suburbanites. So there is a huge change in the demographic here on who's voting for who. And if it continues this way, it could change specifically who ends up within the election, because they're still kind of running off the old paradigm that, Democrats are mostly still appealing to Latinos, even though the support has been switching over to the Republicans, and they are the quickest growing voting demographic in the country. So that could have a huge effect as well. And we've seen this generally with, especially with Latino immigrants from Cuba and Venezuela and other places. They really do not like Biden, and they really like Trump for some reason. So there's this possibility that the changing in the demographics will actually lead to him gaining new support in a lot of places, especially in lower income black areas. He gained a lot of support over the last election. So there is this possibility that the changing of, I guess, the left becoming more white and the right becoming less white, a little in terms of elections, might actually kind of throw us for a surprise that no one's really expecting for. It's hard to say because the U.S. doesn't do a good job of tracking Latino voters. Everything I found useful during the election was from Telemundo, and they're not really concerned about U.S. demographics right now. They were only concerned during the election. So it's kind of like this untapped sphere that both the left and the right media is not tapping into right now to see what kind of political viewpoints they have. I think it's very reckless to ignore that because just based on last election and based on Telemundo's polls, they will probably, and by they I mean Latino immigrants and second-generation immigrants, will most likely be deciding maybe not the next election, but the one after that soon enough. Because there's always going to be a bit of back and forth. We don't know exactly, when population numbers are going to reach critical points in that. It should be expected that this will continue to we'll probably get more of a worse back and forth each election. That's kind of where we're leading to. I expect there to be a stronger snapback from the right next time, and then after that, probably even stronger snapback from the left. And it's really just a matter of who has enough first at this point. So I'm kind of hoping that they both, both parties, kind of step away from the current rhetoric they're going with, which I don't think they will. But if people come in, like if Trump comes in with a more, if he changes his attitude, kind of like we've seen before, like, him and Biden were confrontational, say 4 years ago. And then the last round, Biden was very passive and patient and calm type thing. I mean, we could possibly see a kind of new persona. We could see Trump put out a new persona for his political personality that might end up changing some of that too, because people do have a short memories. It's typical that after 4 years people will only remember the good things from the last election and forget the bad things because they're focusing on the bad things from the current president. It's just how the human memory usually works. So there's a possibility that there's more changes than we're expecting, not necessarily within the next election, but I do think these will be building up and will change the voting demographic at least over the next, say, 2 to 4 elections, presidential elections.
So do you think that Trump is going to, if he's not found guilty for, criminally, if he's not charged criminally and everything, and if he's not found guilty for those things, do you think that he's going to come to everybody with he's literally going to come out a little bit softer this time? Like less of a jerk? Is that what your prediction is?
I'm not necessarily predicting it, but that would be his best bet. Because a lot of the support he lost at the last minute, even from the right, was because he was kind of an asshole and not really engaging Biden during the elections. And people on the right didn't like that either, from what I could tell. No. Because he wasn't engaging in conversation. So if he changed that, I think, he could get back some of the maybe Republicans. I mean, I don't know any personally that Republicans that supported Trump and now don't or anything like that. Just based from what I've seen and what I've spoken to people, I do think that is a very strong case.
Interesting
possibility.
Do you think that instead of him running, it might be somebody else in his family that runs? And would they get that support transitioned over to him? Say Ivanka runs.
No.
Or Don Jr.
Possibly. No. I mean, if Ivanka, there's a chance that if Ivanka runs, I could see that happening because any children she has is technically Jewish, and even though we've seen a shift of Jewish support go to the right,
technically that's not correct. The somebody of Jewish descent has to be born of a Jewish woman, so technically no. Yeah, but as far as just DNA and lineage and all that stuff, culturally speaking, yes, these children would be Jewish. But technically, they would not be Jewish.
Right. Okay. But my thought on that one is generally conservatives, Hasidic Jews, and the like are already on Trump's side because a lot of them are in New York and they feel like they've been targeted by Cuomo. And I know a lot of Orthodox Jews in Ohio that felt like they didn't have any problem with their Democrats in their party, but they felt like Biden wasn't in their interest. I mean, I don't live near them anymore, but I spoke to them online. They were friends I've had in the past. But the difference is that I'm trying to get the names right. The Reform Jews and the more liberal there's an even more liberal version. Usually, they might eat pork or something, but they still go to synagogue and everything. There's basically three factions within the U.S. of Jews: basically center, right, and far left. And some of the center and the far left were supporting Democrats last time, and that's typical. Basically, you could just split the Jewish population as you would the normal population. They go left to right, just for slightly different reasons. But there is this opportunity if he reaches out to the Jewish population on the left with what gains he may have already had in blacks and Latinos. If he doesn't waste that or say something stupid, he could gain even more demographic support there, which gives him a lot more places to gather winning votes from. Doesn't guarantee he will win, but it gives him more demographics that might pull through for him. See, it's basically what he needs more and more groups that might come out in strong force for him, because if he has all these lined up and only a few come out, he might still win. So he's just got to keep hitting all of these demographics that he gained a little bit in and see why he gained that. And I think he can win again.
Interesting.
I'd rather he didn't, but I think he could.
Right.
Or maybe not him, but his one of his children could as well.
I mean, that is okay. Real quick, because I just saw a comment here, and I just wanted to read it before it disappears on me here. Because you guys are putting in the comments. Thank you so much. Keep those likes. Keep sending those likes up. I really appreciate it. Siri from Germany, thank you so much. On YouTube said she converted and reformed and in Reformed Judaism that is sufficient as far as birthing other children and those children being also Jewish. So some Reformed rabbis also argue that a Jewish father is sufficient enough, so the children are Jewish. Okay, so back in the day when I learned about this, it was the mother had to be of Jewish descent for that child to actually be quote unquote Jewish. So maybe those things have changed over the past decade or two. But I'm now forever changed, so that's good to know here too. Now, when it comes to the parents, or when it comes to not the parents, when it comes to the children, okay, Ivanka, DJ, Eric, Tiffany, any of them that decided, and then some, Barron for crying out loud. If any of them decided to run, right, instead of Trump, instead of Donald, instead of Papa D, right? That's a new one. Instead of Papa D, I don't think that they would have as good of a fighting chance as Trump. I'll say that. Because here it is. If Trump is still Teflon Don, right? And all these, the criminal charges slip right off his shoulders. All these things that are still going after him. They're still after him. They're still looking at his taxes, which could be a couple years until they actually find something that's incriminating. If they find anything incriminating, that could take years of just deep diving, going through all the paperwork and everything. The stuff that happened on the 6th, he's still getting possibly charged for that. So if he dodges all that ish, and he still goes on Sunday and says, I will be running, and everyone, all the Republicans go, wah, and they go crazy. Okay. And of course, yeah, that too. Mark Jones is exactly right. He also betted Stormy Daniels, and he got away with that as well. So here's the thing. If he does end up running, and he's Teflon Don, all those charges are dropped against him, etc., he's being able to dodge all day long. If he does we are all going to be biting our nails. Every last one of us. Hold on, let me just finish my thought. If it's Ivanka, or if it's Donald J, or if it's Eric, any of them do not have a fighting chance because it's not Papa D. Real talk. If Ivanka tries to run, she ain't got nothing. If Biden tries to rerun, forget about it. It's going to be Biden all day long. But Donald Trump, though, Papa D, that's another conversation in itself. And I think that's the reason why we are all talking about it, because we're going, oh, crap. He has a fighting chance of coming back and doing this thing. He has a fighting chance of actually coming in and getting reelected as president in 2024. David, thoughts?
One thing, maybe you guys, because I don't know any kids, maybe you guys have more experience with this, but one thing I've read is that generally kids of the age 16 and under are more conservative now than their parents are. And this isn't entirely unusual for children to go the opposite political direction of their parents, but this is important in particular because, these studies focus on people around the age of 16. Democrats are trying to get, in some states, trying to get the voting age lowered to 16. Which might end up biting them in the ass, exactly how reducing the Supreme Court, the amount of votes needed to approve of the Supreme Court. They did that, and then Trump used that to fill up the Supreme Court. This could be the same case where they do lower the voting age to 16. And mind you, it only takes them 2 years to get to voting age anyway, right? Yeah. So that could end up bringing in a lot of Trump support that's not expected. It's not just even from what I've read, and I've just read this, I haven't seen it myself, but it's not just from like children that are trying to be counter-revolutionary to their parents, but just a lot of them are like frustrated with, I guess, the like school aspect of it. I don't know anyone in school, so I don't know how it works there right now, but that this is at least what studies have showed in major cities, is that people around the age of 16 and younger, coming rapidly more conservative, and they will be becoming a voting base soon. I mean, of course that can change. They're 16, so they're very susceptible to advertisements and new information. They're not fully developed mentally yet, so they will change. But that still offers another strong base that Trump could at least get one election out of, or one of his family could get an election out of.
So, can I throw a scenario out there? What would happen? Say Ivanka runs and has Trump be the vice president, and then now think about this, because then if she has the power, she can pardon him on all the federal crimes that he's done, and then also, and if you're running for vice president and not president, couldn't he be vice president for 8 years?
I think so.
So then that puts the Trump family in office for 8 years.
Shut up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Just spitballing here, but
stop spitballing.
I wouldn't see that. But I think that his ego wouldn't allow for him to be a vice president.
Bruh.
Right.
If I'm right, as long as he serves less than 2 years as president from being vice president, it doesn't count. So
hamburger.
So he could get in for a little bit. I don't remember the exact year deadline. It's like 1 or 2 years. So if he does less than that, it wouldn't even count, and he could run again, I believe.
But wait a second, though, really quick. If he runs, because we're going to have to wrap up here very, very shortly, or we got to go into commercial break. But the thing, hold on, just give me a second here. Let me no, because I'm trying to wrap around, because, okay, so say that he comes up, CPAC, goes out there, he's like, I'm going to run 2024. Everyone's like, oh my God. And everyone gets all excited, right? If Pence wants to run, he still could run against. He still has to go through the primaries. He still has to go back from from ground zero and work his way back up the trenches. It's not like he instantly gets to just be the person that represents all of the Republican Party, correct? He still has to go back to Cali. You know what I'm saying? He got to go back to the beginning, right? He got to go through the races all over again. Now, Mitt Romney obviously said that he will most likely win by a landslide, but that still has 4 years of people have an opportunity to build themselves up. Go save a baby or two. You know what I'm saying? Rescue a cat from a tree. You feel me? Republicans, listen to me. Any person that's a Republican right now has any aspirations of running in 2024, start stocking up on your good merits now. Do it now, so that 2024, when you walk in, and if you're not a fan of Trump, you annihilate his ass. You got 4 years. Well, 3 years. You got 3 years. Put in the work now. So then you could be the juggernaut. You could be the superstar. And then you annihilate them in the primaries and be done. My God, the thought of Trump and then the Trumps and then Trump and then Trump. Oh my God, that'd be terrifying. That'd be terrifying.
He put that tweet out there, Trump 2024, 2028, 2020, or 2032. Maybe he wasn't talking about just him.
He was definitely talking about his children. He's like, the legacy goes on. The legacy. I can't do it. I can't do Trump. I'm sorry. But yes, the legacy goes on. Not what
Stormy Daniels said.
That she had to. She's like, does it get darker in here? See a little bit of crack of light coming through in here.
Can I have a bag on my head?
Yeah. Can I have some blinders on? Because I can't see. I don't want to see nothing.
Maybe he could just run as she could just run as the bag. Because I don't know if you saw it. It was last year, I think. It was somewhere in Asia. It was just like a local area, maybe Korea, I think, where they elected a dude dressed as a jackal, or was it a panda? It was some kind of animal, but he became the official representative. So it can happen.
Well, I mean, they got we showed it on the show a while back where they had dogs. You know, the governor of like the mayor of the town and stuff like that. So hey, if there's a will, there's a way. You know what I'm saying? You never know. Hey, we may never. You never know. We had a reality show guy, a TV host, win. He won. 2016, ran this country for 4 years. Who's to say that, a sex worker couldn't get this job? Anything's possible. Like a reformed sex worker, obviously. Imagine that. Oh my God, that'd be terrible.
Yeah,
that'd be terrible.
I think she might lose the woman vote because might get all the male vote.
No, I mean she might get the women vote too because women empowerment. She's taking control over. And why would you say it has to be a girl? See what I'm saying? It could be a dude too. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's a plenty of dudes that are slinging the D for money. You know what I'm saying?
Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, that's another conversation in itself, and that's bad. That is bad. I'm talking about consensual stuff that you may see on OnlyFans. Oh. You feel me?
Yeah.
But that's another conversation in itself. We got to jump into a quick commercial break, but I will be sitting down with Sierra Walker of Prepare STL. Stick around. We'll be right back. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
Love, peace, and wellness for the holidays. Don't cancel them. Prepare STL. Decorate. Make it as normal as you can, but slow the spread of COVID. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Watch your distance. Prepare STL, helping St. Louisans of color prepare and prevail.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. As long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all of that. So what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now.
Thanks.
the Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
You're going to perform
I'm sorry,
tonight?
I can't make this interview boring because this
No, it's
man
not
is
boring.
too exciting as a host. And I'm truly saying this, and if y'all can't do this, me and this man here is going to leave and go somewhere else so we can get some love. I want everyone in the building to say, I love Pascal on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
Homeowners and property managers, if you're looking for effective and humane ways to remove wild animals and deal with the damage that they have caused, we have good news for you. Introducing Wildlife Command Center, a professional nuisance wildlife management company specializing in providing animal removal for residential, industrial, and commercial clients. We are the only wildlife company that checks 70 different areas on a structure to determine the answers to the following questions. Exactly which animal are we dealing with? How is the animal getting inside the home? What kind of damage is the animal doing to the structure? Once we get the answers to all of these questions, we develop and write up an action plan to resolve the animal issue completely and provide a quote to implement that action plan. We perform a very in-depth 70-point wildlife inspection. From visually inspecting the highest point, the chimney, to physically crawling inside the attic space and looking for animals, chewed wires, fecal matter, chewed structural wood, we inspect everything. Our inspection process covers all of the following 70 points: animal-proof chimney cap, roof ridge vents, roof to soffit junctions, dormer fascia, attic gable vents, gutter lines, fascia trim, garage door, utility penetrations, water, gas, electric, and cable, bathroom vents, attic roof ridge vents, attic electrical, wiring, junctions, boxes, and lighting, concrete decks, additions, wooden crawl spaces, basement plumbing, penetrations, ceiling, floor, and wall. Wildlife Command Center's mission is to deliver the finest quality wildlife removal and pest control service that is safe for the environment. For more information, call us now.
Hey, welcome back, guys. Thank you guys so much for sticking around and being a part of the conversation. If this is your first time checking out this show, please go hit that subscribe button on my channel. We do this show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, and I do a Tuesday through Thursday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time show. So in the middle of the week, you get me twice. It's a blessing. I promise you, it's a blessing. Anyway, be sure to hit that like button and join in on the Pascal Show family chat over on the side. It'd be great to have you over there and hear your voice over there as well. Anyway, I got to invite and introduce a good friend of mine, Sierra Walker. She's one of the organizers for Prepare STL. Sierra, how are you doing?
I am doing good. How are you?
I'm very, very good. I want to say a big thank you for being on today. I really do appreciate this. There's a lot that we need to talk about in a very short amount of time. I'm very excited about the CHC program that you guys are doing. This is called the Community Health Champion Peer-to-Peer Outreach Program. Please tell me exactly what this is all about.
Okay, let me tell you. So first and foremost, I'll tell a little bit about Prepare STL. So Prepare STL is a campaign that was born out of mission, not mandate. It is a collaborative of committed individuals who really are making sure we keep our communities safe. And when we say communities, we really mean our Black and brown populations that have been disproportionately affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. But we also recognize that that includes some of our foreign-born populations and those that have been in zip codes that we know have been disproportionately affected by the COVID-19 pandemic and the collateral damages that have come from it. So this collaborative is made up of our city health department, our county health department. We have nonprofits like the St. Louis Integrated Health Network, the Regional Health Commission, the Mental Health Board, the CHW Coalition, Alive and Well Communities. And I think it's important to give some of these names because these are nonprofits that have held us down, not just during this time, but even before. And then we have our operating partner and our physician consultant, Dr. LJ Punch, who comes from the T. And then we will be remiss if we didn't mention that all of our consulting services are coming from Emergent Wisdom. So all of this this conglomerate of collaboration, we've come together, we've said, hey, we really need to make sure that we keep our communities prepared and we set them up to prevail. So we've done a lot of things. When COVID-19 first started, we were really serious about making sure we got people the PPE that they need and the appropriate educational information. But now as we're moving closer to, the vaccine distribution and just the confusion that comes with that, we've recognized not only based on evidence-based research, but community listening sessions that peer-to-peer conversations can sometimes be the most effective way to get information across and actually let it resonate. So Prepare STL said, okay, let's do that. So we are looking for 300 community health champions. Mm-hmm. So what's a community health champion, right?
Yeah, what is that?
We would like, what we like is for our community health champions to hold 2 Zoom conversations. So on the Zoom call, you'll host 2 conversations that teach people how to live well during the era of COVID. So I know people are like, okay, Sierra, what do you mean live well during the era of COVID? Well, Prepare STL has done intentional work to position ourselves as a neutral source for information. We are not here to endorse nor influence you to get the vaccine. What we do want to do, however, is to provide you with the information that you need in order to make an informed decision that you and your family feel comfortable with. We recognize individual agency and we support that. We don't diminish, nor do we ignore the feelings that our community, specifically those of Black and Brown communities, may have based on mistrust and the way that things have gone in historic times. So for that, what we want to do is offer up available information, translate it to a way that it can be digestible, and then hand it over to someone you might know and love and allow them to give it to you. So our community health champions, 300 of them, will each hold 2 conversations to which we will provide them training and support them throughout this entire time so that you're comfortable facilitating this. We'll provide you some supporting documents that you can use to, deliver this information. And guess what? You won't even have to work the Zoom. We have a Zoom manager that will do all the technical work. You also won't have to answer any vaccine-specific questions because we'll have a vaccine expert. In addition to that, if someone on your call is like, hey, I need help now, I have some social support issues or some financial issues, we'll have CHWs on standby, our community health workers, who can actually direct them to on-time, real-time resources. So community health champions, here's what I'm asking of you. We need 300 people who are willing to host 2 Zoom conversations with no more than 10 people in each conversation. We want it to be intimate. We really want to know what matters most to the people on these calls. And to each of our CHCs, we're going to supply you with 20 kits, PPE kits, that are filled with real goodies. And then we give those to you and we ask that you distribute those to those that you know might need them most. It might be those that are on your call, or it might be someone in another personal network that you have.
Sounds pretty simple.
And I just got to end with this. The best part, it's a paid opportunity. So we are paying each of our CHCs $200 just as a thank you for your participation and your ability and willingness to really get this information out.
And that's really dope. I mean, that you just said a lot right there, but all that was very, very important information. But it sounds like a fairly simple job, a simple thing that you got to do. The Zoom call with 10 of your peers. You talk about what's going on. You bring some awareness to the vaccines. If anybody has any questions, there's a vaccine expert there to talk about any concerns if any of your friends are asking questions about that. And then also on top of that, you get to secure them bags. I mean, it sounds like a dope deal. You know what I mean? Not a bad deal in my personal opinion. But I got to ask you, what are some of the criteria? What are some of the guidelines? Because for a fact that people are going to be coming to you guys in droves wanting to do this, but I'm sure not everyone can do this. So what are the guidelines in being able to join this?
So guidelines are pretty loose, to be honest. What we want to do is make sure we reach as many people as possible. If you do the math, if we had 300 CHCs and they each held 2 conversations with 10 people each, that's a potential 6,000 people we could reach with similar information, making sure that people feel comfortable in whatever decision they make. I say the primary criteria is that whoever decides to be a CHC, you recognize that the positioning of Prepare STL is simply to be an information source. We are not asking you to endorse or encourage the vaccine. So as long as you come with that heart posture, that's the first and the foremost. Secondly, there's a couple of categories that we really want to make sure we reach, or populations, I should say. So if you live in St. Louis City, St. Louis County, or East St. Louis, we would love to have you. If you might be considered vulnerable for the COVID-19 pandemic, because this is held on Zoom and we recognize we want to keep you safe, we would love to have you because your networks may benefit from this information. Let's say you are an active participant in your faith community. We would love to have you. If you participate in grassroots organizations, or maybe you are a spokesperson for your organization and you all have been wondering, what's going on with this vaccine? We would love to have you. And then I'm going to emphasize this group especially. If you are between the ages of 18 and 30, we're right here. We would love to have you because we want to make sure that our youth, and I'm right there with you, that we recognize this still affects us, right? So we want to make sure that we are touching all of our populations to which might have questions. So it's a pretty loose requirements. The main requirement is your heart posture. But after that, if you represent one or many of those populations I just shared, we would love to have you.
That's what's up. She had to get close to the camera to let you know. But Sierra, I love that. And I think that this is very important because one thing that I love about Prepare STL is that they are doing everything they can to get the word out there to our demographic, to our community, and letting know that it's okay to have questions. It's okay to be inquisitive, scared, whatever, have anxiety about these things. Prepare STL is right there for you guys to guide you through the muck, if you will, and hopefully get you to a better place of, information and clarity. You know what I mean? So Sierra Walker, thank you so much for being on. Can you tell everybody where they need to go? If they're interested in doing this, where can they go so that they can join?
Definitely. So there is a URL that you could type in and it'll take you directly to our interest page. So it is tidybit.url/preparestl.com. If you're like, Sierra, I don't know what you just said, feel free to email preparestl@gmail.com and we can connect you there. And then if you just want to know more about our resources, or if you just want to be confirmed that this was not just lip service, feel free to visit preparestl.com and you'll see on all of our collateral, all of our materials, we are really committed to making sure we keep our community safe and putting forward the personal considerations that you should think about as an individual before you make your choice. So preparestl.com, email preparestl@gmail.com, or feel free to go directly to the link, tidybit.url/preparestl.
There it is, guys. Go and check it out. Seriously, you get to spread the word, help people get through this tough time of making decisions, give them some clarity, and then you also get to make it the monies, and that's not a bad deal. That money, you know what I mean? Secure them bags. Anyway, we got to get going. Sierra Walker, thank you so much for being on. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good one.
We'll be right back. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
Peace and wellness for the holidays. Don't cancel them. Prepare STL. Decorate. Make it as normal as you can, but slow the spread of COVID. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Watch your distance. Prepare STL, helping St. Louisans of color prepare and prevail.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. As long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up,
big
man?
guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all of that.
No,
so what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, and we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have those little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now.
Thanks.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
I'm sorry, I can't make this interview boring because this man is too exciting as a host. And I'm truly saying this, and if y'all can't do this, me and this man here is gonna leave and go somewhere else so we can get some love. I want everyone in the building to say, I love Pascal on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Wow. Hey, welcome back, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, being a part of the conversation. If this is your first time checking out this show, please go hit that like button down below. That would really mean a lot. Let's not forget to crush that subscribe button if this is your first time checking out this show. Do this show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, and I also do a 7 p.m. Central Standard Time show Tuesdays through Thursdays. So in the middle of the week, you get me twice. It's beautiful. So please do that. Jump on. Crush that like button, go on into the chat and enjoy the conversation over there. Also, we do have a Discord. Please go join our Discord. I'm sure Jack or David will, yeah, the memories. No, sorry, there's a reason why I said Tom on accident. But David or Jack will be able to put the link into the comment section here very shortly. But we got to jump into this next story. And one of the main next stories we got here is Nicole Arbour. Nicole Arbour. Yes. Yeah. Nicole Arbour, if you don't know who she is, actually, you know what? We're going to do a little trip down memory lane real quick. We're going to do a little trip down memory lane because I wonder if she still yep, she still has this thing up. Unbelievable. Okay. So real quick, if you don't know who Nicole Arbour is, she has a channel on YouTube. She's a YouTuber. Basically, you can call her a glorified mean girl. She did a video a while back, 5 years ago now. It's been 5 years since she did this video called Dear Fat People. Let's take a look at it, shall we?
Hey, you don't know if this is hairspray or semen. Dear fat people.
Okay.
Some people are already really mad at this video. What are you gonna do, fat people? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna chase me? Really? You're gonna chase me? It's gonna be like fucking Frankenstein. I can get away from you by walking at a reasonable pace.
So that is Nicole Arbour. So you see, she did this video. It has 14 million. Almost 15 million views, by the way. 15 million views. So she's making really good money off this crap. Real talk. And she most recently did a video that we need to take a look at because, yeah, we just need to take a look at it. We were in Discord, by the way. Again, shameless plug. Go follow, go join our Discord. Please, pretty please, so that you can find out all the stuff in certain chapters or certain channels on that Discord. We have chat rooms that are made, like video suggestions and all that. One of our family members, Lady Justice, put up this video. And I saw this last night right before I went to sleep because people were starting to talk about this on the social medias. And she did a video. Nicole Arbour came back and did a damn video. And it goes a little something like this. Hit it!
Ooh, I got a rant today. Okay, I'm on my way to the gym, all gymmed out, and I read an article that.
I'm sorry. I know we're 8 seconds in, but why? Okay, ladies, no offense to any lady out here that makes their face beat to the gods before they go and work out, but why do you guys do that? Why? ¿Por qué? It doesn't make no sense. It doesn't make no sense at all to me. If you're going to go to the gym to get a sweat on, why, I said, why would you put on a full-on face? Why would you put on your war paint to go work out? Doesn't make any sense to me. Go ahead.
Drain into your eyes at that point.
Exactly. You start crying, like you're trying to look cute while you're ever so like sexually suggestively bent over, doing bent over rows with your butt poking out.
Sexy
I get
yoga.
it. I get it. I get it that we all want to look like we just walked out of an IG a photo shoot or an IG post, but come on, y'all. Why?
To get a man.
I mean, I get it, but no, I don't know who would want to date her. I'm sorry. Who would want to date? I'm sorry. I digress. Let's continue. This has nothing. What I'm saying right now has nothing to do with the actual video in itself. Let's check it out.
At BLM collected $90 million last year in 2020.
Okay.
And you know how much of that the Black Lives Matter chapters and the people who are actually doing things in the community have seen?
How many? How much?
$0.
Oh.
Zero. It is official. The $90 million raised for Black Lives Matter was completely stolen. It's been stolen. It's gone. This to me is the biggest black on black crime since black people sold black people into slavery, which is how that happened, by the way. Like that's the history of slavery.
I'm sorry. First off, that is wrong. That is entirely wrong. So you're telling me, Miss Nicole Arbour, the most factual human being on this planet, by the way, says that slavery happened because Africans sold other Africans, and that's the sole reason why slavery exists. And now she's putting that against black on black crime. Okay, first off, you wrong as hell. Wrong. No. You are wrong. All of that is wrong. Here it is. There is half-truths in it. It's a half-truth that she's like exaggerating and she's, stretching as much as she can. Yes, there were Africans. It is actually true that there are Africans that were out here. There are actual Africans that are out there that did sell or capture their own people to sell to the Europeans. But you also got to remember, there were also Europeans doing the same damn thing. They were literally capturing them and throwing them onto ships to sail them wherever the hell they wanted to sail them to, and then sold them. So it was more than just, Africans just did all this stuff, and that's just what happened. That's what happened. That's what really happened with slavery. That's what happened. You are putting out there fake ass information to your God knows how many, who listens to her still. But you're telling these falsities, these fallacies, right, to your echo chamber. Get your facts straight. Let's continue.
Absolutely insane. And every freaking fake, woke, dumbass celebrity that got all of their fans and all their people to donate to Black Lives Matter because we're not racist. We stand with black people. Buy the t-shirt. Donate. You didn't do any fucking research. And now your fans donated to nothing. Nothing. Not a penny of that has gone to the black community to help anybody. I've said this before, that if that money was invested into small businesses of black people during COVID, it would have been the great equalizer. Because it could have helped those businesses when they open, help them survive the storm. None of it got to them.
Okay, first off, this first chunk that she just said about zero and all that, we're going to take a look at that. We're going to look at an article because I found an article. And we're going to look at that here very shortly. But as far as her sitting here saying, what did she say again? Let's play that one little bit, just a little bit.
before that if that money was invested into small businesses of black people during COVID, it would have been the great equalizer.
That is actually facts. I do agree with that part. $90 million was donated into the BLM organization. That is very true. Now, if they were able to take some of this money, that is true, to these other companies, there are plenty of small business owners, small entrepreneurs, etc., that were getting their stuff started. A lot of people rely on their businesses that had to shut their things down. It is true. I do agree on that part. I mean, oh my God, holy cow. I'm agreeing with the white Candace Owens. I'm surprised right now. But at the same time, though, she does have a point on that part and that part alone. Let's hear out the rest of this a little bit more, and then I'm going to show you guys this article. We're gonna debunk this.
1 second there.
Go ahead, David.
All right. So, she's saying we bought slaves from Africa, that Africans were selling them. That's not entirely true. Most of the slaves sold out of Africa were under the Persian Caliphate. So Persians took over most of northern Africa, and that's where slaves from Ghana came from. They exported massive slaves from Ghana, and then along the Ivory Coast, the U.S. Britain bought slaves that were locally captured, but that wasn't the majority of them. I mean, just the difference of like going to a village, taking up a handful of criminals that they paid for, versus just having unlimited numbers of slaves. So yeah, she's just not really entirely right there.
She's not.
At all.
She's taking, like I said earlier, she's taking a half truth and she's exaggerating on it. She's taking it and just using this echo chamber that she's built. Because there are people out here that totally support her, and they feel exactly the same way she feels about people who happen to be overweight, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But let's finish this, and we're going to go into this article.
Because it could help those businesses when they open, help them survive the storm. None of it got to them. $0. So maybe it's time for us to stop being so stupid and fake woke and showing up to protests and putting on a t-shirt. And, we had good intentions because, of course, everybody should be equal. Like, this is kind of like humanity 101. But to give your money and corporations to give money to something that didn't even exist, it's your fault.
Okay, let me just say this. So she says, don't protest, don't show up to these things. She's saying that people that are showing up and protesting and demonstrating are now, quote unquote, fake woke because they wanted to financially support an organization because they feel that Black lives do matter and that the Black Lives Matter organization is doing something positive in their communities, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. This woman is an idiot. I mean, we already knew this right when I showed you the Dear Fat People. She hasn't changed anything in 5 years. She hasn't read a book. She hasn't found Jesus. Nothing. You know what I mean? She hasn't found a stronger relationship with her Lord and Savior. Nothing. This is the same woman from 5 years ago, except longer hair and maybe some Botox.
For being that stupid. How freaking stupid. If $90 million would have been invested in Bitcoin in June of 2020, it'd probably be around $300 million now in profit.
Maybe.
But none of it. $0 went to the Black community. So I just want to tell you guys, first of all, I told you so. When everyone's like, Nicole, why aren't you posting about BLM? Why aren't you doing all this stuff for BLM? Because it's not a real organization. It's not a thing. Black Lives Mattering, of course, but BLM is not an organization. They have no programs.
Oh, shoot. That just disappeared on us. Okay, but we get the idea. We get the general idea. Maybe he got flagged. Maybe that's what happened with not us. Not us. I'm just saying maybe that video got flagged somehow. Maybe I don't know. I don't know why it just suddenly disappeared on us. But we do have this article, which I want to pull up and take a look at because this is important. This is an article that was put up 2 days ago. Literally 2 days ago. And it says Black Lives Matter opens up about its finances. All right. So the foundation, widely seen as a steward of the Black Lives Matter movement, says it it took in just over $90 million last year, according to the financial snapshot shared exclusively with the Associated Press. So they say we want to lift up Black joy, or we want to uplift Black joy and liberation, not just Black death. We want to see Black communities thriving, not just surviving. Okay? So this marks the first time in the movement's nearly 8-year history that the BLM leaders have revealed a detailed look into their finances. The foundation's coffers and influence grew immensely following the May 2020 death of George Floyd. And of course, we know who George Floyd is. If you've been watching the show, you clearly know who George Floyd is. Okay. The growth also caused longstanding tensions to boil over between some of the movement's grassroots organizers and national leaders. The former went public last fall with grievances about financial transparency, decision-making, and accountability. So, in its report, the foundation said it committed $21.7 million in grant funding to official and unofficial BLM chapters, as well as 30 Black-led local organizations. So as far as she's sitting there saying none of the money was sent out, that is not entirely true. Okay? $21.7 million so far in 2020 was given to official and unofficial BLM chapters. Okay? And also 30 Black-led local organizations. It ended 2020 with a balance of more than $60 million after spending nearly a quarter of its assets on the grant funds and other charitable giving. In its report, the BLM Foundation said individual donations via its main fundraising platform averaged $30.76. More than 10% of the donations were recurring. The report does not state who gave the money in 2020, and the leaders declined to name prominent donors. Last year, the foundation's expenses were approximately $8.4 million. That includes staffing, operating, and administrative costs, along with activities such as civic engagement, rapid response, and crisis intervention. One of the focuses of 2021 will be economic justice, particularly as it relates to the ongoing socioeconomic impact of COVID-19 on Black communities. So when she said, they could have taken that money and put this on put this towards the Black communities that were fighting to stay alive, and these communities that are in strife right now. They could have easily been donating this money, right? Well, that's funny because they say one of the focuses of 2021 is to be able to give money back to the community. Giving money back to the community, okay? Now, the thing is it goes on because they say one of the founders says, one of our biggest goals this year is taking dollars that we were able to raise in 2021 and building out the institution we've been trying to build for the last 7.5 years, all right? Now, I understand that there's other chapters as well that have said that they want more transparency. They would like to know where the money is going, how the money is being spent, etc. And I don't blame them for wanting to do that. But you cannot tell me that all of $90 million was just quote unquote stolen. Nicole Arbour's little rant is half right and half wrong. She is taking, I feel like she read this article, or at least skimmed through it, found all the negative, and said, oh, wait a second. I'm going to throw out that these guys just stole your money. Just stole your money. Told you, zero, goose egg, nada, zilch, zippity doodah. BLM hasn't been giving anything to anyone, you stupid overly woke human beings. You guys have been swindled. Well, records show some of the chapters have received multiple rounds of funding in amounts ranging between $800 to $69,000, going back as far as 2016. You also got to remember, this was an organization that was founded and started in 2013. They probably didn't have any money starting off. Maybe a few $100s here and there, maybe $1,000 here and there. But then all of a sudden, BLM became part of everyday vernacular. George Floyd happened. All these atrocities that happened back to back to back, all this blue on black violence, etc. happened. All this police brutality happened even more. It came out even more. There was more marches, more demonstrations, more riots, etc. It became part of the zeitgeist. Next thing you know, people are starting to donate, and all of a sudden you're turning around going, oh my God, we got 90 million? What? What are we going to do with all that money? So they are now starting to try to expand this money. Share it. Share it. I could see it being like I could see somebody getting overwhelmed. You know, you can start an organization, like it's like starting a show, right? You start a show, you got people, some people are coming on, doing their thing. You got 5 people that are watching your show. Then all of a sudden, something big happens, you know, and suddenly you get 17,000 people watching you every single freaking day. You know, you become that thing that people watch. You go, oh my God, what am I going to do with this? This is overwhelming. I can see that actually happening with the Black Lives Matter organization, especially when it comes to, holy crap, we raised how much money? What did you say? 90 what? I can see them going, okay, how do we spread this out properly? This is a lot of money and a lot of responsibility. And you also got to remember too, there's a lot of heads, there's a lot of chiefs in the TP, if you will. There's a lot of cooks, there's a lot of chefs in the kitchen right now, I'm sure, that all have their own personal opinion on how this money should be spent. So, I think what she said, there are some half-truths in what she said, but not full truths. You lost me at you're showing up to the gym with a full-on face of makeup, like your face is beat to the gods, looking gone to the wind fabulous type stuff. That's a lie. Then you went in and said that's how slavery was started, and that's the whole basis of slavery is because black people, Africans sold other Africans into slavery. That is a lie. You just started off with all this BS, and then you maybe skimmed through, or maybe you went down to the bottom of the article for Associated Press, of the Associated Press article, and you just expanded the BS. You expanded from there because you know that you have a platform and an echo chamber in which people are going to embrace what you are saying 110%. What she said, some of those things that she said, she has one good point out of that whole freaking thing. Yes, they had $90 million. There's an opportunity for that to be spent on black communities immediately. That's what I feel. That money could have been spent immediately on black businesses, etc., black communities, etc. But it wasn't. That's the question I would want to know. Why? Why was that money being withheld? Why are they holding on to $90 million? And why are there other BLM quarters or chapters that are sitting here saying, we want transparency. We want to know where that money is going? I'm going to throw it to the guys.
Yeah, I actually looked into some of this myself. From what I can tell, a lot of the money, people were donating money in 2 different ways to BLM. One way is they're giving money to the local grassroots group that they're physically meeting. That's great. The other way is people were doing it on the website and donating to the BLM organization, which doesn't necessarily support exactly what you want. Because there's a huge difference that it's clearly. I can see why it's confusing, but like the BLM organization is not the same thing as BLM protests, because BLM is an organization. They're not a nonprofit, and they have clear political objectives that have nothing to do with just race. So there's that, and like people do want to know where that money goes to, and there's something like 60% of it hasn't gone anywhere. I actually called, or I emailed the local BLM. It's run by white people, but I emailed them. They got nothing from. They weren't even aware of the main BLM organization. So there's some confusion here because a lot of people in BLM movements right now are grassroots and just want to improve their local community. But there is, in fact, a organization that is receiving donations that are kind of meant for these grassroots groups because, it makes sense. People are like, I want to support BLM, jump online. First thing that I search for brings up the BLM website. It's an official website. They want money, I'll give it to them. But you're not necessarily seeing that money distributed to the grassroots movements. They're using a lot of it for infrastructure and building up their own thing, which is what you see at like colleges and stuff. They invest student money into expanding their campus, which basically ultimately allows them to make more money and things like that. So, yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah, I mean, Jack, what are your thoughts?
I mean, they wanted to build an actual facility, right? So I think a lot of the money is going towards that because they haven't had a facility. So being able to put that money towards there to be able to give them an actual location to work out of, to give them an organizational front, to be able to communicate with all the other locations and everything else. I think overall that. One, she was kind of crazy, and then but I think that the organization is doing good things for the community, and and as you dive deeper into it, the amount of people that have donated and continue to donate is going to be continuing, and I think that I just saw another thing here that said that they were opening up a $3 million survival fund for people that are in the COVID-19 waiting for next stimulus check or people that need help. There is direct, connection to the community, but all the affiliates and stuff, I bet they want to know and just have transparency. But I think that overall, a lot of people are worried about the founders of BLM and the reasons behind what BLM was, and so I think there is two stark differences for what people look at. If I think we haven't seen our friend here for a while that was very much against Black Lives Matter because it's I can't remember the phrases that were used towards it.
Marxist group.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So and maybe if you go through and you read their their overall goals and plans and things, maybe it comes off like that. But I think that as more structure is put into, I think there's a movement and there's an organization. As the two come together with funding and more structure is put behind it, I think that everything will benefit the communities. And it's kind of hard to put a cap on it right now because there is a large amount of media attention that it gets, and I think it's died down a little bit. But overall, people are still behind the movement, and it's I think it's just going to get better as the year goes on, and if they actually have a facility to work out of and then can communicate more effectively with all their different affiliate locations, I think it should be a good year for the organization. And I don't know. It's hopefully it's something that is all positive, and that there is not actually some snake in the grass type of stuff going on, and all of a sudden there is $30 million missing. That's.
I just think that if there's going to be $90 million, or if they're going to get a whole lot of money, I think that there will be eyes on them, kind of going, okay, you got $90 million, do something with it. But I also have to sit here and throw them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, given the fact that this was an organization that I'm sure did not realize that it was going to get as big as it did, as far as the donations go, and may not know what to do with it, or they have either too many people, too many hands in the pot that all want to have something to say about it, or I mean, it's a tough one. I just don't agree. I just don't think that they're not using it for the betterment of black communities, that they're just swindling everybody and they just took the money and ran. And when it comes to that's a lot of people, because there was a lot of people that started and created the BLM organization. But I can also see them going, wow, we got a lot of money. Maybe we can use this money to get a facility, to build out a facility. Maybe we can use it. You just see what I'm saying? There's a lot of things to talk about before you actually start spending $90 million. That's a lot of freaking quiche. So it's like, okay, what can we do to use this? What can we do to use this for something else? Like 5K on Ice just said exactly what he's echoing exactly what I'm saying. Maybe they are trying to save this for a much bigger project that they have coming up. Maybe they want to start a facility. Maybe they want to get a building. Maybe whatever. Maybe they want headquarters in multiple cities, you know, in major metropolitan cities. You see what I'm saying? The possibilities are endless, because now they see how far BLM has grown, how far it's reached out, how much money they've grown, and they've been donated to, donated for, or something like that. And they're going, okay, let's take this and move this into a bigger movement. Mm-hmm. But like I said, it's not like BLM is just one human being. There's multiple people that all have their hands in the same pot, and they all have different opinions on how that money should be spent. And I think that's what needs to I think that's what needs to happen. You know, they need to step back, have that conversation, and see what happens. And I think that's the other reason why, like, you see other organizations being like, yo, we have these organizations out here, these other chapters, and we're not seeing really any money. We just need more transparency. Okay, fine. Bring in the transparency. Also, that $90 million could also possibly start funding people, start paying them for their time. The other organizers that are running the other chapters in other cities, that could be the money that they're using for them as well. So God knows what they're doing with that $90 million. But now from that article, you can see that, okay, maybe they're going to start being more. It looks like they are going to be much more transparent with their with the money, and they are going to take what they've accumulated and start pouring it towards the black communities. And I think that's a good thing. Nicole Arbour saying whatever she had to say, I think was ill-informed and a watered-down version of some semblance of the truth. And that's what I think on that. You know? That's what I think. Lady Justice, by the way, is the one who put up this article and that video, and she just said in the comments, some of those BLM 10 were offered $500,000 under the grant program, but declined because they had additional demands. And those additional demands were they wanted more transparency from the BLM organization, from the mothership. They wanted more transparency, and I think that's fair. They just want to know what the heck is going on. You know what I mean? But there's that, y'all. Unfortunately, I have to cut the show a little shorter than usual today, so we won't be able to talk about this Biden's Children Migrant Facility, but I will try to do that in a pop-up video here in a little bit. I'm sorry, guys. I got some things I got to take care of, and I have a deadline to take care of those things. But I will be on, and I do appreciate the conversation, everybody who's been on, that kind of thing. I think Nicole Arbour is just trash. That's just my personal opinion. I don't care if she's speaking truth or not. She's not speaking truth in this situation, but if she was speaking truth, I wouldn't even, I turn her off so much. You know what I'm saying? She's just lame. She lame. Yeah. You know what I mean? She's just trash. But she needs an excuse. But she needs an excuse to keep securing the bags. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously it's not like she's living in some trailer park somewhere with no money in her pocket. You know, it's not like she's living on the street or something. So she needs to do whatever she can to secure the bags. What were you going to say, Jack?
Yeah, right before we go, I was going to say I saw breaking news here that somebody shot the
Lady
dog
Gaga.
Walker of Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
That's crazy. They're offering. She's offering a $500,000 reward for her 2 dogs to come back.
You know you're rich when you have a dog walker.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say that. You know for a fact you in the monies when you have your own dog walker. You know what I'm saying? You don't even take care of your own dogs. But you've got dogs.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, take Pookie out. Thank you. Take him for a run. Go exercise him. That's crazy. Privilege, but
Before we go, can you tell people about Ask Pascal and Trap
yes. Thank you so much for the reminder. Yes, okay, so join the Discord. There's a whole bunch of chat forums in the Discord. One of them is the Ask Pascal, which I will be doing some of them tonight. Ask Pascal is basically a forum where you can ask me anything you want, anything that has to do with you wanting to get to know me more, or if you have something that you need advice on, etc. Anything you want to ask, as long as it's respectful, you can ask in that forum. And then, every Thursday night, I will be reading those questions and answering those questions live on the show. Okay, but then I also have the Trap Opera thing. That's another channel, or that's another chat forum where I am tomorrow. I will be singing whatever you guys write in there. So if it has to work, so like somebody started already started a couple lines, and you're right, you got to keep it within the rhyme. You know what I mean? And I will be adding those into on top of an opera song. Or on top of a beat, whatever it is. You know what I mean? However I feel, however I see fit. Okay? So, Nolly, you can ask me anything. Like I said, as long as it is respectful. All right? Any disrespectful questions, out the window. Okay? But make the questions good, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Make the questions good. And then, of course, like I said, it could be anything from personal to anything. Maybe it's personal for yourself, or you're asking me a question, or whatever. Definitely comment in that area. And then the song, write in whatever you want. Who's your favorite sister? Dear God. I should be asking you that, Jack. Who's your favorite sister?
All of them.
Exactly. So anyway, guys, Jack, David, thank you so much for being on today. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, man, it's a great show.
Seeing you again.
Yeah, it's good seeing you too. It's been a minute, bruh. It's been a minute. Anyway, guys, I really do appreciate all y'all for being on today. Hold up, I got to do something real quick. I appreciate all y'all for being on today. It really does mean a lot. Be sure to check out our merch store. I'd appreciate it. We got some new stuff hopefully dropping today. I'll be sending this thing over. Apparently, it's not like something that we were doing behind the scenes for the new merch was having an issue. So hopefully we're going to get that thing fixed today. All y'all be sure to hit that like button down below. Don't forget to crush that subscribe button. I'll see you guys tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. I'll see you guys soon. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
Peace and wellness for the holidays. Don't cancel them. Prepare, STL. Decorate. Make it as normal as you can, but slow the spread of COVID. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Watch your distance. Prepare, STL, helping St. Louisans of color prepare and prevail.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. As long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and
Yeah,
all that.
no, I
So
don't
what are
blame
you
them.
guys doing in regards to that?
Well, and we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now.
Thanks.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.